Hey man, are we live? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. What's up, gang?
Happy Friday, guys. Hope everybody had a great week. We did. We have a big day tomorrow. Bub turns 2 and gonna go to the trampoline park and hang out for a while after ballet, of course. Hope everybody had a great week. If anybody is out there struggling or needs to hear some suggestions or get some hope, we're here. You can always reach out to us. Give us a call in at 267-737-8031.
I can't wait to go to the trampoline park tomorrow. I'm going to wear one of Lori's sport bras.
Yes.
I was trying to make Fred shoot water out of his nose. We got a special guest tonight, as you noticed next to me.
Yes, we have
a good friend of the show, Fred.
A special guest. Fred is here, and Fred is going to tell us about his little journey. He has been here. This is what, your third time here? Fourth? Third or fourth. However, he just hit a milestone of 4 years.
Yeah.
And proud of him.
He's an inspiration to us all.
And he's so awesome with just being there for people and offering an ear, a handshake, a hug. He's a hugger. And just showing people how it's done, how you stay sober. And he's just awesome. So
Fred helps a lot of people along the way trying to figure out their path And I mean, he's always there, man. For anything event we have, man, Fred shows up for it. He's like,
Yep.
it's great.
Yes. Sue's out there. Christine, Larry, hey guys. Missed you too, Sue. I'm glad things are going well for you. Fred, so 4 years.
4 years. Whew,
That
that's
is
great.
awesome. And because of that, we have a little something for you.
Personalized.
Am I supposed to get out and put it on camera?
You do what you want to do
Yeah,
with
it's family safe.
it. Yeah, there's no penises or anything on it, but
Thank you for another day.
That's your saying. We try to put things.
Oh, wow. How the heck do you do that? Red Friday. Remember everyone deployed. That is awesome. Oh, and my date.
That's date.
yes.
Got
January
Motorcycle.
22nd, 2019. Oh, thank you very much.
That's my new thing. Pappy got that mug press for Christmas, so now I can make personalized mugs. So
Oh, that's really cool.
I know
And it's safe to use. It won't wear off, so
No.
use it.
No,
you can put it in the
I
microwave
drink a lot of coffee now.
oven. So happy for
Oh,
4
that-
years.
That's awesome.
Put your orange juice in it. I don't know.
Prayers that it continues for another 400 years. I see that. What is it?
Just got to get today. That's the only thing.
That's all you
my
got.
goal.
So, just wanted to give you a little something for
Oh,
4
thank you very
years,
much.
and hope that you keep going because it's
She's
not.
the mug lady now.
I'm the mug lady. I'm the ugly mug.
Make one for your dog too. When's your dog's birthday?
Yeah. But I'm just glad to have you here. I'm just really happy to know you and to
And your lovely wife.
yes, I love his wife. She's in bed,
Yeah, she's
so
got to be sleeping by now.
yeah.
Got the cucumber slices on her eye.
Yeah.
Back there.
We actually had the youngest grandson came over this morning at like 5:20
Whew.
because he's 6 months old, and then Michelle did take him to daycare a little after 7 because the 5-year-old got twos in his ears today, so that all went well.
Oh,
But
good.
like that's all because of sobriety that I'm willing to help out and be involved, and it's not just about Fred. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible the life you can live sober compared to drinking.
Yeah, it is. It's great to have the grandchildren there and be able to watch them grow and not miss out on those important things in life. That's just awesome. Mine's over here picking up little pieces of stuff and putting them in the trash.
What's his name? But you don't know what he's putting in the trash though. We gotta watch him.
Yeah. So, how's the ride been? It's
I get weird like the week before or 2 weeks before my anniversary date because I do every day. Like I read different literature and I read it on like my iPad now instead of like going through the books and stuff. And like the one app that actually has it'll tell you like today I have 1,466 days, which is 4 years and 5 days, which like 4 years is great and all, but then the most important day for me at this point is today. And I accept that, and I just want to keep moving forward. I don't look too far ahead. And actually, for this anniversary, one thing that was really strange was all the meetings that I go to. I started like there's, you see the same group of people in a meeting all the time. And then you'll get some strays that come in and out, and more the merrier, man. I want everyone to be in some kind of 12-step program. But they were talking about having 3.5 to 4 years, and they were relapsing, whether they were like 10 years sober, relapsed, then went 3, 4, relapsed. And it was just like, I'm like, is someone like telling me something? Like, this is like, you're freaking me out with this whole thing.
Yeah.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, look, I'm here. So, like, but it's just weird. And then I know going into I think it was my 3rd year, I was just like, well, maybe I should just relapse now because then I never hit 3 years. So never, I don't have to say I was 3 years, then I relapsed. But, that 4 year anniversary is over. I want to get through today. And it's just weird the things you hear in meetings at the right times. It's like you're always at the right place at the right time to hear the right thing.
I mean,
Exactly.
you always get exceptions to the fact people like that, relapsing 4 years down the road and all. But I think for the most part, the more time you get under your belt, the more you have to lose, and the more you think seriously about it. Should you get a little weak or something? I mean, it's easy in the beginning. It was 6 months, whatever. But now you got 4 years, man. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of hard work. I mean, makes you really think more about it. You won't want to throw it out all the way. I mean, you work too hard to get there.
Well, I'll be 100% honest. The same thing with going in detox. Like, I never want to have to detox again. And I didn't have seizures or anything, like nightmares or anything. Well, I actually like nightmares. You're waking you up every 2 to 3 hours, checking your blood pressure and stuff. But, like, I do not want to experience any of that ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and that's scary. And same with the family group as well, because you have family members, friends, whoever it is that is affected, that is standing by you and supporting you in a meeting, and then you hear, oh, he was 20 years and relapse, and the whole room is just like, what do you mean? Like, you just don't know. Like, oh, he's 4 months sober, and he's doing really well, and then the next meeting, he relapsed, and we don't know where he is, and that's so hard because, unfortunately for most people, it is part of their story, and the family members are just so shocked by that. They're like, whoa, like, what do you mean? And I know I'm like, well, not my loved one. My loved one won't do that because he's smarter than that. And you just, and then it happens and you're just like a punch in the stomach again. It's just so weird how you get hit with that. And you just don't realize,
Hello, Eric. Eric's in the building.
Eric's in the house. Mary.
Yeah, I had a good friend of mine, was addicted to heroin a long time, and he got clean. He was clean for many, many years. I mean, probably close to 20 years almost, and got his hand crushed in an accident at a steel plant he worked at. And, of course, they gave him morphine and all, not knowing it's passed and all. And unbeknownst to us, we don't know. And he relapsed, and they found him on his kitchen floor, dead probably about, a month or so after the accident. It was hard, like, we were all like, but, you never know what happens. And, you kind of lose connections with people, so you really don't know what's going on. We didn't even realize he needed help, somebody to come out and, and he wasn't the kind to ask for it. Super nice guy. Just things happen. It's like, that's why you always got to stay in touch with your friends, but always, like, touch base. Hey, how things going? To bring up just so if they want to reach out, they know you're out there. They might say, yeah, things ain't going good. You know what I mean? I always try to, like, stay in touch with people like that. And and not just to take it for granted they're fine all the time. But people don't like to ask for help. They don't want to bother you. They don't want to seem weak. All different reasons. But if you kind of touch base with them and let them know you're a friend, I mean, you stand a chance they might reach out and say, hey, yeah, I'm going through a rough patch.
And you know what? You live in the day. It's one day at a time, and that's so true. It just resonates, and you don't understand it unless you live through it. Somebody says, oh, one day at a time, like, screw you, like, what the hell is that, like, but until you get into a program or you're supporting someone in a program, because we use that too, like, that's part of our support process is the slogans.
The slogans are really neat though, because when you first go into like AA and you see them on the wall, or if they're just on literature, it's just like this is kind of like weird, and I don't know.
Yeah,
It reminds you
cultish.
like when you're going into a church when you're little and you're kind of like forced to do things.
Uh-huh.
But then like I know for me as time was going by being sober, they've all fit somewhere into my sobriety, which is really cool. Even like with the steps, how they you go through the steps. I'm lucky enough I went through the steps with two different guys, and I definitely am going to go through them again.
Yeah,
Like-
especially when you're feeling that everybody around me is relapsing. Like I need to get back in touch with myself and my steps.
And then, yeah, and then there's guys that I like that, like, stir, even if you kind of are in a tough spot, but you're not really saying anything. I've been around enough to where they'll be like, my sponsor's really good. He can just look at me and be talking. We could be talking about making a coffee, how much coffee we got next for the next meeting or something. And it's like, he goes, "What's going on?" And it's like, no, what's going on? It's like, okay. And it could be something simple with me. I'm not. I don't need these long paragraphs explained out to me. I'm pretty simple. Someone can say something that could be 3 to 5 words in a sentence, and it's like, wow, I didn't think of that. Look, why couldn't I think of that or this, that, But and I do. It's one of the best things. Like, I definitely went into AA for my drinking, but I definitely have to stay for my thinking too, because I get twisted fast on different odd things. And then, like, how you hear people saying they get stuck inside their head and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, I hate sitting around waiting to do stuff, and then I would sit and start just
The stinking
just,
thinking.
yeah, it just festers.
Yep.
And then, at one time I'd be like, well, I'll just drink while I'm waiting to do this, and then everything's numbed, and
Yeah.
but you don't give a shit about anything else either.
Right. But another thing is you have to look forward and set a goal for yourself, especially if you're coming out of losing, the family, the home, the job, the car, you've lost all that. You still have to think of that goal. What is it that I'm working towards? And kind of picture that in your head, but live in that day with that day's goal to get to that goal that's ahead of you, and trying to explain that or to make somebody in recovery understand that is so hard because, we all have to set goals for ourselves. We all have to look at our future and say, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I have to do to get there. But take just that day to get to that next step, that tiny step forward to get you to that end result. So,
And we're trying to have a more family-friendly show. We've been going off the rails a couple weeks, so that's why we got the kid running around in here. Makes it more family-friendly.
thank you.
I'm trying to be more wholesome.
Yeah.
But even the meetings like with the guys that talk about they relapse with 20 some years or whatever, and it comes down. It's the same thing every time. They stop, praying, talking to God.
Stop working a program.
Stop working a program. Stop talking to a sponsor. And for me, it's kind of crazy when I think I can see a couple of the things, but then when it's like, I basically surrounded myself at this point, other than family members. Everyone's basically involved in recovery somehow that I either hang out with or, and I don't know. I like the people in recovery better than that aren't really in recovery.
But we're the same way, and we're not even in recovery. I got more friends in
you
recovery
are, though.
than
you
I got.
are in recovery.
I am in a sense, but I got more friends in recovery than I do
Right.
normies. I mean, I got my recovery
cucumbers.
friends are much better. I only got a few cucumber friends,
Yeah.
But
Yes.
but my recovery friends are much better friends. It's like I have a more closer bond with them all because I'm hanging around all the time.
I had someone that had Phillies tickets for the World Series, and you wouldn't want to go, and I'm like, no. And they're like, that would bother you with people drinking and stuff? I'm like, basically, probably, but I'm not going to sit there and then find out that, and I'm going to sit there and be miserable. Why not sit on my couch where I would enjoy it, and I could text other people, and like, there's guys in recovery on Facebook. It's like guy strikes out, it's like, what a bum, trade him. Like, and it's like, no, they're talking about like Harper. It's like he's one of the best players in baseball, and I just love that stuff. And then when you see the guys, I think one of the coolest things is like with coming to your house tonight, like. Now that I knew it was one of the dogs' birthdays, I wasn't exactly sure which one. But when you go into a meeting or something and you see someone, it's like, oh, how's your mom doing? Or I seen that thing on Facebook, and it's just it's more than being that sober or clean for the day too. It is like being family, because just I try to be nice to everyone. I try to be kind to everyone, smile, give them a hug. And
I told you he's a huggy guy.
I think
That whole hugging thing, I mean, I got used to it, Fred, but I mean, I had a bad experience at a nudist colony years ago. I was telling everybody, I was very uncomfortable.
something poked you.
Yeah, I was very uncomfortable. It was a very embarrassing situation. I mean, everybody's staring at me, and
He's Irish. He had nowhere to put his
everybody was
face.
staring at me. But
I meant to send this to you the other day.
yeah, but it's the truth, though, man. We have so much fun with our, with all our friends in recovery. Like,
You can never go back to being a cucumber.
that's just creepy.
I meant to send that to you.
So
That's creepy.
the thing that was good about that is my mom. So it was my mom, my stepdad Bob, my son Dalton, and Michelle had to take the day of enlightenment to visit me.
Uh-huh.
And at that time it was Dana Cohen
Cohen.
at Living Green, and like my mom remembers that.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, oh yeah, like it's like all of a sudden, like she's an expert because she knows
That
now
you're-
that I'm a pickle, I can never go back to being a cucumber. But it's good though, because I got great family support, and some of the stuff it's just like this. It's like stop.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Dana's coming back for the family education, and
It's being rebranded the Day of Enlightenment.
Yeah.
They're calling it something else now. They're going to
Yeah.
start it up again.
but that is
Oh, that's
coming back
awesome.
for the families. Not that they're going to be able to go in and see their family members, but
Yeah,
I don't
the
know if
closed
that'll
campus.
ever come back. It's
A forever
ridiculous.
COVID scare.
But yeah, that's I can't even tell you how important the family
well,
part of that is.
for like visitation, me and my wife talked about this, and Michelle would believe that I probably wouldn't have stayed if I wasn't able to get to see like her and my parents and son.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I didn't have to go through that, so I don't know, because like like I said, I go through detox. It's like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever done. Then 3 days in like general population, I'm like, what the hell did I do?
We had to
Then-
take it. We took that course to see him, our loved one.
then you have like 3 days left, and I'm like, I can't believe these people are just gonna let me walk out of here.
Yeah.
So there's you really find a lot out about. I personally could not have just went into AA rooms without going to rehab. That would not have worked, because even in school my whole life growing up, I never would like raise my hand to read, or if you got picked to read, it's just like nope, nope, nope. And man, they had us doing stuff and just getting out, that being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's so true. There's so many things that I was told that weren't lies, and I just, that's why I try to go back to everything I can at Living Grin. And like, so I was at the alumni meeting last month, and they were talking about so we'll have the Serenity Garden cleanup day, and I already booked a vacation. I think starting, it's actually Earth Day, April 22nd. And I'm like, oh, I hope it's not going to be that day, because like that would really bother me if I missed that. And Lorraine though said it was great though. She said, I think it's the what's the big thing they deal with the beach, the sober beach weekend.
Oh, I know. I
forget
can't.
the name of it.
Uh-huh.
I did. We were going to go to that like my first or second year sober, and then COVID hit and never made
Yeah.
it back. But
Yeah. I know a few people that go there every year, and
I can't even think what it's called now.
No, I can't either. But yeah, that's really cool. It's and you become a family. You become, and it sounds so stupid, but you do. It's like a whole new like second family.
We always look
It's-
forward to all seeing each other.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Serenity Garden thing.
Uh-huh.
I was a team with your wife. I dug the holes and she jammed the plants on the hole. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I had the easy part.
Yeah, I was in charge of raking out the volleyball court, and nobody came over to help. And I'm like, screw this! It's wet. I can't even move it with the rake.
Well, we got like these same events every year, and I mean, I always look forward to them. I mean,
Yeah.
we always have a good time.
I know because so we have it's going to be a St. Patrick's Day dance this year.
Yeah.
Sober St. Patrick's
I know
Day.
Michelle already got new boots, and then I think she might have already got a dress or something, but she don't always show me her clothes because I'm like, no, or even though that's not really right of me, but so I'm definitely not a person. I don't like zebra skin. I don't like cheetah skin. I just don't understand that. Like
It's sexy.
maybe I don't think so.
That's because you're a guy. She's a cougar.
Yeah,
Do you mean the roundup, Fred?
yeah, that's what it is.
That's
around
it.
there.
Yep, that's what it is, Christine. Yeah, I know a few people that go and they have a really good time. It's recovery is so much fun, and I can't wait for the dance because they are really amazing nights.
I got to go get a new outfit now because Michelle's going to show
Yeah.
me up.
Yes, she is.
Well, and then,
It's just gonna be a leopard shirt.
nah, it better not be. But not for St. Patrick's Day.
We have a caller. Oops.
Turn up the volume. How about a caller?
Hey, it's Bart Kelleher.
Hey, girlfriend.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. You have one of my favorite people there as your guest this evening.
Yeah, I love Fred. He's awesome.
He's hard to book. He's
What's up, Brad?
How are you?
I'm good. Was a little bit late getting on, but I've been listening to you, and Fred and I were both in Livergrid at the same time in 2019. I was a couple weeks ahead of him, and I still remember seeing this big dude looking like he was scared shitless at a certain point. Well, we all were. I mean, I was already 2 weeks in, so I kind of knew what was happening, but I remember Fred, having that overwhelmed look like I knew I had in the beginning as well. And, I just we kind of immediately took to each other, I think. And I remember Fred asking me questions about some things. I don't know. There was another guy that was with you, Fred. I don't know which one of the guys you palled around with. I can't remember now. But, I wanted to make comments on some things like the fact that stuff at the Grin has changed so much since COVID started, and how wonderful it is to go to the the alumni and the activities that they have, and seeing Fred's face at every single one of those,
Yep.
and at alumni meetings, at the Ride for Recovery. He's one of the people that got out and stuck with it.
Yep.
And I feel like it's such an important message for the current patients to know about that and tell them. It's to give them hope. The days when we would have the alumni meetings and the patients would be in one half of the room and the alumnus would be in the other are no longer, so that kind of sucks. But anyway, I just want to say, Fred, everything that you do is amazing, and I'm sure Shannon's really glad that you're involved. And I wanted to just comment on the whole family thing. Pardon me. Some of my immediate biological DNA-related family members have made snide comments to me over the last 4 years regarding, that I talk about these people like I'm best friends with them. And I had to look at them at one point and say, hey guys, I see them more than I see you.
That's the truth.
Yep.
Like my own son, who's 35 years old, doesn't talk. And, and my daughters are just whatever, wound up in whatever. And,
Love you, Eric.
they don't understand the fellowship bond that we have with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand what it's like to walk into a room and have everybody be like, yo, Barb, what's up? Or, hey, Fred, how are you? And I don't know. It's medicinal for me. It's such an important part of my sobriety. And I talk about this at Opiates Anonymous meetings, like fellowshipping is such an essential part of sobriety. It gives you the opportunity to open up and talk about things that you may never, like Fred said, he was never someone to want to be called on to do whatever, to talk or whatever. I've seen guys sit in meetings and cry and open up about shit they've done or family members that they didn't get to make amends to. And it's like, it's a miracle to be able to.
It is.
To watch
It's
that.
amazing. It's amazing to
Instead of-
watch.
Yeah. Instead of
Yeah.
like, how about those Eagles all the time? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How about those Eagles, you guys? Goddamn, I'm excited.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
I'll have to get my tickets to the Irish thing.
You're getting the
Next
tickets
summer.
from me, right?
Oh, I absolutely will. I promise. And,
You want a table
I'm
of 10,
starting-
right?
Yeah. And I'm starting my list of requests for the DJ. I think you know him.
Yeah, I think I know him.
Great guy, great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I just wanted to thank you, Fred, for being there tonight, and you guys for doing this. It's a wonderful way to end the week.
Yes, thank you for calling
Thanks
in,
for
Barb.
calling.
Thanks for
And-
calling in.
and-
It's always good to
Can't
hear
wait
from
to see you.
And don't be a stranger. You're welcome to come back here anytime.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks. Bye.
All right.
See ya.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye.
That is our Barb. She was on the show I guess 2 months ago, a month ago.
My
2 months
my
ago.
years are flying by.
Yeah, it was in
That's a sign of
November.
old
It was
age.
in November. She is so funny too. She is so funny, and she is awesome. Support for anybody.
And
She's
she's my
just
dance
awesome.
floor icebreaker at every event. Too.
Yes.
She breaks the ice, gets them out there.
Yes, Jackson's looking for her dress, so we need to. Look, Jackson's like the most overdressed little girl
Yeah,
on
she
the
like-
dance floor. But she
The
has
queen.
yes, the dress has to have sparkles, and it has to be. She has to be able to twirl and make a big twirl on it.
It's cute. She's old girly.
Yeah, she is my girly girl.
And my grandson is old boy. Wow.
Yes,
That boy's got one speed. Fast.
yes, he does.
You can't even go in the kitchen and make a sandwich. You got to bring the sit and spin out and spin around your way, trying to get the refrigerator doors open. Like, thud, thud, thud. Like, come on, just back it up a little. I get the doors open on the fridge. It's funny.
Yeah, and he goes so fast that it slides across the floor. So once it gets to a certain point, he gets off, picks it up, and throws it back down, and it's like thud, and it's just like Jesus
It's good. Loves the monster trucks, man. We watch monster trucks
all
every
day
day.
long. Yep, he's a trip, that one. But yes, anybody that wants to go to the sober St. Patty's Day dinner dance and needs tickets, I have them. Hit me up.
Yep. It's a
Or
church-
Fred.
I don't have my tickets yet. I missed the meeting. I'm
Oh.
a slacker. I missed that one. I screwed all kinds of stuff.
Oh yes.
Yep, it's at Georgine's. You know,
Yeah, same place.
dinner.
Yep.
Good, great
And
food.
dancing. Great food, yep.
Yeah, really good food. So, but anyway, where were we?
And it's a closed bar, just so you know.
Yeah, it's
So you know, it's a
It's-
closed bar.
it's completely shut down bar.
My buddy seen it on, he was joking with me. He goes, man, what the heck kind of St. Patty's Day party having out there without a bar? I go, oh, yeah. Real funny.
There, on the Living Grin alumni page today on Facebook, they had a meeting at Living Grin and started talking about the Ride for Recovery already.
Wow.
So I have to see what date they pick for that. But
Yeah, because I mean, these are events that you have to start
Yeah,
early.
you got to start early, get your sponsors and everything all that.
hopefully they stick with like how it's always been. I believe it's always the fourth Sunday of June.
Yeah,
A lot of change
Sunday.
this year, Fred. A lot of change.
I'm with you. I
Just
don't,
got to see what
I
happens.
don't like all the changes, but it's one of them. That's where that serenity prayer comes
Yeah,
in.
just
because
got to
Yeah.
see what happens and what
I
happens.
gotta
happens.
let go of different things and
yeah.
just get through today.
That's all we have is today. Tomorrow's never promised, so you stay in it. Stay in it to win it. Get the stinking thinking out of your head, because really that's the support process is like so incredibly important.
Well, just like that, what you said, without elaborating, I mean, it's change, and like it's we get so used to the way things are, you know what I mean, and we like it that way. We're comfortable with that. So now we got to get a little uncomfortable and get used to this change, and we'll get through it.
And Pappy is horrible. He hates change.
Oh, I don't. I hate you.
I used to hate it, but now even like with my meetings and different things, I'll change them up and just on a Wednesday night instead of hitting this one all the time, hit this other one and just to do something.
Just to
Dinner,
let
I'm like,
some-
what's this green stuff on it? It's rosemary. You never put rosemary on it. I'm like, come on.
Stay with the parsley.
For 40 years, it's been fine the way it is. Lori loves change.
Mary, the recovery walk will still be going on, but there is talk that it's not going to be down at Penn's Landing anymore. So
Who knows? There's more change.
I'm waiting to hear still what's going on with that. I'll be very disappointed if that does happen, because
We'll have our own if so. Like we
Yeah.
did this year. We'll have our
Well,
own.
from my understanding, each ProAct building, so there's a ProAct in Bristol, there's a ProAct in Doylestown, Montgomery County, Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia has two, Westchester, and another one. I can't think of the other one, but each individual location will come together and do their own walk. So that's what
Yeah.
I heard.
The one in
So,
Philadelphia is actually the biggest walk in the nation. They get over like 30,000 people
Yes.
for the Philly Walk at Penn's Landing. It's been dubbed the largest recovery walk in the nation, actually.
Yes.
When it's pre-COVID.
In the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel it in the world. So
It's an amazing sight. If it ever comes back to Penn's Landing, if things ever get back to normal,
yeah.
definitely try to make it there.
That's
Yeah.
what I think the problem is. There's never going to be a normal ever again.
It's the new normal.
No, it's
So-
yeah, everything's gonna be. But I will keep you posted. Anything here in Pennsylvania, you can go on to ProAct Walk 2023, and just keep checking back on that, and you'll get some information as it's sent out. Also, ProAct has started a family education and support. It's always been there, but it has they've pumped it up more. So there was a big training course, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are the family education. So it's a 4-week series, I believe. And I will be doing Thursday, this coming Thursday. And Tuesday, Mary Pat does it. And Eileen does it one night. And then they have a Saturday morning coffee and conversation. as well.
Oh, they have donuts too.
Well, they have coffee and conversation.
Oh, okay. No.
I didn't hear coffee, donuts, and conversation, so I'm
what
not
it does
really
in
sure.
Holmesburg Creams. I'll be the head of the show.
Yeah. So
Nah.
that's all posted on my Living Hopeful page. So keep an eye out for that. This Thursday will be my first night, either sitting in or doing facilitating. So yes, that's new for me. I did actually have Living Hopeful running a meeting there once a week, and
Best cream donut in the world.
yes, but that's where I started this. This is
Look
where
at
I
pictures of cream
started my
donuts.
Living Hopeful, and just not a lot of people were coming out, and we just decided to just do it through Facebook, and now we've moved over to
YouTube.
thanks, Barb. So now we moved over to PROACT, taking over the family support and education. It's always been there. It's just a different. They're changing the program a little bit. So, but like our loved ones, the family tends to get left behind because, first of all, they think like it's not my disease, it's their disease. And well, first of all, they don't even think it's a disease. It's their deal, not mine. I'm a normie. I go out with my friends. They'll have to deal with what they're doing, and I'm going to go on with my life. And then they find out that, okay, I need to be there. I need to be there. I need to support my loved one. And I need to, I'm not sure about the spouse side of it. I know that the parent side of it is I need to fix my loved one.
Yeah, it's funny you brought up the disease part again. And Fred spoke about it earlier. People relapsing or stop working a program and all. People that understand this is a disease that's never cured. It's a disease that's managed. So you have to work a program. You got to stay involved to keep this disease in check. I mean, you're never cured from addiction. I mean, some people seem to think that, and they, 20 years down the road, I can have a drink, and it's not the case. It's going to lead you back to square one. Mm-hmm. And you always hear somebody, I know someone. There's always exceptions to the rule, but they're very few and far between. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There people, that they cured cancer rubbing oil on themselves, but most people don't, like, there's always an exception to the rule, but it's a long shot, and it's not the norm. Mm-hmm. So you got to remember, I mean, it's a commitment, it's a lifelong commitment, and that's what scares people. Mm-hmm. They never feel as though they're going to be normal again, or be their old self, or it's just something
and then
we got to come to grips with,
right? And then they find out they become a better self.
And then they find they can have more fun without it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have more fun at our functions than any of our friends. You go sit in a bar, and what do you think? You just sit there, and you watch television, you breathe secondhand smoke, and we're like, man, we're out having a blast, doing all kinds of things. I mean, I would have never done before.
And waking up the next day
sitting around eating ice cream in a parking lot with a dog, I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do that anywhere else.
Yes, and Mary Rose,
that's Fred's dog. He likes ice cream.
I'm not sure which walk you are talking about in Jersey. I know that there is one every year. I think it's in September in Seaside Heights. That's a huge one. And it's they do the boardwalk, and then they do some of the neighborhood. It's a pretty good time. I did that as well a few years ago, and
more exciting than that Jeep crawl down there in Wildwood. Yeah. You ever see Jeep crawl? There's like 10,000 Jeeps, and they all do 5 mile an hour down the beach. It's like. It's
literally a
it's a big traffic jam. As long as they're doing 5 mile an hour, and these big Jeeps. I mean, they ain't no jumping or they're doing donuts. No, you just try 5 mile an hour and Sand Road on the beach. Wow.
Yeah.
And it takes you all day just to drive down the beach because it's 5 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Traffic
And
jam.
you know what? It is a shame if they don't have that back down at Penn's Landing, simply because the amount of resources that come out and set up a table and hand out literature and, you know, keychains and pens and
I miss not being able to wear my F Heroin shirt down there. Oh my God, that's a great shirt. Where'd you get that? It's an organization. It's a real organization.
but that's, you know, that's where we're going to be lacking, because a lot of family members and loved ones that need help, everybody is out there. You have the legal system out there, to give you information to help you through any of your legal battles. You have recovery houses, you have rehabs, you have mental health, you have medical insurance, you have organizations, you have anything to do with, you know, addiction, substance use disorder, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's mental health, whether it's dual diagnosis. Everybody comes out. There are so many tables. You
And
don't
a
even
lot of free
get
swag, too.
a lot of swag. I love
Tablets
the
and
chip
bracelets
clips.
and necklaces. A lot
The
of
chip
swag.
clicks are the best. But this is what the walk is about, and this is what we are lacking today because of COVID. I know when I first fell into this and I started realizing that in order for me to help my loved one, I needed to help myself. I needed to figure out what part I'm playing in it, what part I need to do in it, and going to all of these events that were going on, talking to people, other family members that have gone through it, talking to different rehabs and recovery houses and learning. The most important piece, especially on the family side, is the education on how to deal with what's going on. And it's hard because
And to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's you're lost in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not educated, because most people aren't educated, they have an idea, they think of what it's all about, and it's usually very flawed. The idea, and it's not by their own fault. It's just what they were always led to believe about things and all. Like, you know, why don't you just stop and tighten up, pull up your bootstraps, and they you know, it's not easy as that. It's, you know, it's hard for a lot of people to consider it a disease until you really start immersing yourself into it and becoming educated, and it becomes quite obvious that it is a disease. You know, maybe a choice in the beginning, but you know, it manifests itself into a disease. It definitely is, and
Talking about it being a disease, like, so I have, I guess, Aetna, which, you know, if next week I need to go get an X-ray or MRI, like the hoops that you got to jump through, and just the crazy shit you have to do. And then there would be like a code's not right, or this or that, and it's like you're making 15 phone calls for all this stuff. I remember going in to Livengren, spent the 30 days there, came out, went right into IOP, did that for like 6 weeks. Then I moved on to the GOP, which I stayed in there for like a little over 2 years, and they actually asked me to, you know,
Leave.
give the spot to someone else coming, you know, into it, or I'd still be going there. And like you get the, this is not a bill, and you didn't get any, well, you got to do this. I didn't have to make phone calls. I didn't have to do anything. Like that stuff, it was all taken care of. Like I was really happy about that, because that would have been really strange, because it's already weird enough that, you know, I had to get my wife to get a hold of someone to let my work know where I was at, because my wife didn't even know I was doing this. She woke up from a nap, and it's like, you want to call that place Livengren? I can't deal with this anymore. I just can't do it. And, you know, she's tearing up, and then as people are coming home and they're finding out with the kids, and everyone's like, oh, this is good. This is a good thing. And it was best decision I ever made. And like you said earlier about people asking for help. Why I asked for help that day, I don't know, but it took till I was 49 years old. It wasn't like I realized it right away because there is. Whew, thank God we didn't have security cameras, even cell phones or anything throughout my 20s because. Yeah, you'd probably get locked up somewhere still, drinking homemade wine out of the shitter. But
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, there's some really
It's-
crazy stuff that's happened over the years. And
Yeah.
now I just laugh about it, and that was one of the easier things for me to find a higher power, and it's still to talk to God and stuff. Because like when I wake up, even like tonight, I wake up, it's going to be probably 3 o'clock in the morning, to take a pee or something. My feet hit the ground, and I start going. I'll get the dog, let the dog out, and then go to the bathroom. And I'm like, man, thank you, because it just blows my mind, and it's a complete miracle that I don't have that obsession for alcohol anymore. Because I can't believe I'm sober just today, let alone any time, in my mirror, the rear view
That's
mirror.
the truth, and like, I think the same way. And my thing isn't as great as yours, but smoking cigarettes. I haven't smoked in probably 20 years now, but when I first quit smoking cigarettes, I couldn't believe I wasn't smoking anymore. I mean, I'd get up in that middle of the night, take that pee, I'd have that cigarette lit before I made it to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Or I'd wake up and I'm like, I don't think I have a cigarette since I woke up. And cigarettes ruled my life, and you don't realize what addiction cigarettes are until you give them up. And then you can really understand it. Man, that was one weird addiction. I mean, like, that's the one why people didn't smoke. I thought they were missing out. They didn't know what they were missing. That's the flawed thinking. I just an example, but I that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments is quitting smoking. I mean, man, I smoked my brains out. I smoked 2 packs a day, 3 on the weekends if I was drinking. Mm-hmm. It's like, whew. Now I'm around somebody that smokes. I'm like, God, you stink. I told the guy in work yesterday, I said, God, you stink. I feel like I've been a hypocrite. It's
Yeah.
like an ashtray.
Yeah, and it is. It's crazy how things, get to that point where, you just have to say, I need help. I need help. And then, like, I know, I've told this story many times about my uncle and his stint in AA because the police said he had no choice. But, we would wait for him at the laundromat to get out of an AA meeting, or we would sit in the back and make fun of them because, we were young. And, he would leave there, we'd all go to the bar, and, because he wasn't in it to win it. He was in it just to appease the police officer and not go to jail. So, and we used to always make fun of it. Oh, the bunch of drunks. Oh, look at that drunk, because the Easy Does It bumper sticker on the car. So we knew what all that meant because we were going to the meetings. And
The secret was out.
yeah, so we always looked at it as like, what a cult that is. Like, that is so, like, and then I remember going to the first meeting, and that was the Al-Anon for beginners at Living Grin. And I walked in, and they had all the slogans on a piece of paper in the middle of the floor, and I'm like, what the is this shit? Like, it's nothing more than a cult. Like, what is this gonna do for me? Like, that is so stupid. But I had to figure out how to help my loved ones. So I stayed, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, nah. I'm like, it's not for me. And then they told me about the family group that was different. It wasn't a fellowship. It was the crosstalk, and I walked in there, and they still had the slogans and things going on. They weren't on the floor in paper or anything like that, but people would be talking that had been in it for, I think, 3 years before I got there. So you would hear these slogans, and today I'm like, I'm always whipping something out of a slogan because it really does help. It's like, that is so weird and bizarre. how much that can help you, just with your everyday life. It doesn't have to be about your loved one. It could be the bitch at Acme that's pissed you off. And then you just pull something out of your hat that, calms you down and gets you where you
With a
need to
slogan
be.
like that, when things happen, it resonates with you. It takes you right back to that slogan, and you kind of laugh to yourself. You're like, them slogans really do make sense.
They d-
And it sticks in your head more as a slogan than if anything else. It would just
exactly.
pass you by.
We were just watching TV the other night, and we watched Night Court's back.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And towards the end, they started talking about slogans. And I forget which ones they said, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And then Michelle's like, I'm not sure. It's like, well, we got to watch this again now.
Right.
I think the
love that
judge,
show.
the female judge, might be in recovery. Is
Right.
Right.
Could be.
And I'm like, this will be interesting.
Yeah.
But it's weird that they're gonna,
Whereas
put
back
that
then,
out
I would
there.
even picked up on that slogan.
Yeah.
I'm right by you,
I had
and
no
now
idea
it
what
would
they're
stand
talking
out
about.
like a sore thumb. Mm-hmm. It's funny. Because let's face it, people have been in recovery for a long time. I mean,
Yeah,
Bill
that's,
W. started them slogans. I mean, and
so that was a cool thing. So you figure last Labor Day weekend, I went to Bill W.'s house that he was born and raised in, and I actually went to a meeting there, which was completely mind blowing.
is the liquor cabinet still there? Did they remove that years ago?
That's probably a bookshelf now or something. But I thought it was really cool because in the room there's license plates with all the slogans broken down so they could be on a plate.
Right.
Like 12 step or 12 and 12. And it was strange because then I went back to the hotel we were staying at and I told my wife my motorcycle plate is God AA. I'm like, when I die, you have to mail that up there.
Yeah.
And she's just like, what? And that's where that thing's got to end up someday.
Uh-huh.
And it's just strange. I don't
Yeah.
know. That was a really good time. We're actually going back this year, and like my wife, she's a cucumber. We went on a Friday. That Saturday morning, we were having breakfast there, and she's like, "We're coming back here next year." And I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Because I
That's
think
awesome.
some guys stayed at the house.
Yeah, they stay right in
In the
that-
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well-
I know Emily House. I think a couple people from there literally stayed at that house.
Yeah, so they there's you got to share the bathrooms and stuff, and I didn't want to do that to Michelle, especially being that she's not one of us. So I got to try to
Right.
balance it out, recovery world and the
Right.
cucumber world, and it's a little bit like a vacation too.
Right.
But
exactly.
it's just amazing.
yeah. That's got to be a good
Sean
time.
from the alumni goes every year.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there several times.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I just watched it on Facebook. I lived it through Facebook with you guys. It did seem to be a really good time. And that's what it is. It's just like getting together and like doing things, doing fun things, barbecues and
Softball games and kickball games and wiffle ball games and
Yeah,
we
it's-
just had so much fun. There's always something going on.
it's not all
Yeah.
coffee and
Yeah, it's
bowling.
not all coffee
It's-
and conversation. It's a
it's-
lot of fun.
yeah, it is, and we have a lot of fun, and we.
I
and-
could even see asking some of my Normie friends, "Hey, you want to go out to play wiffle ball?" Why?
I'm too hungover.
Yeah. It's for fun.
Yeah. And another thing, and I hope that this one day comes back. Our family group, they used to bring in the patients that were in
My
treatment.
friend brought that up earlier. They did that. The alumni used to do that also.
But I mean, I don't know if they just bring in somebody, the speakers from the outside now.
They
Now,
said they
yeah.
bring the
Yeah.
patients in back in the day.
We used to actually go down to Shanahan Hall, and we were alumni on one side and patient. And,
Just like parent group, we used to do the
And
same
the,
thing.
and the patients would walk in like, what the is this? What
They're
is
sitting
going
the other side
on?
of the
Like,
room oh boy.
all my parents are sitting here like, and the counselor, from my understanding, didn't tell them what they were signing up for. And they were missing out on karaoke that night, I think. It was karaoke
Yeah, it was always
night.
karaoke night. Yep.
and that's all they wanted. They just wanted out to get to karaoke. But once the speaker was done speaking and the floor opened up, like none of the patients dared to raise their hand. But, you know, we always had a parent, well, one parent start it, and she would raise her hand and she would start talking, and then somebody on the patient end would, you know, and then it was just back and forth.
And a dialogue
And-
would open up, and people
Yeah.
wanted to ask. And,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it would be so amazing because the patients are like they come in there and like, I'm only hurting myself. This is my issue and I'll deal with it. And then when they leave, it's like I didn't realize how many lives I was affecting.
Yeah,
Because
I
of
never
my-
took that into play. I really didn't care at the time though either.
Right.
Because I mean, like my mom for years is like, oh, you need to cut back, you need to do this, blah 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 blah. Blah. That's all you hear. But
Yeah. And that's true. That's all you hear is the nagging, you know, just like your wife, like nag, nag, nag. And take the trash out, do this, do that.
nah, I stay ahead.
Stop
of her.
drinking, stop drinking, stop drinking.
Funny, I brought up about the liquor cabinet in there. You know, growing up, I thought everybody's home had a liquor cabinet in it. My mother was an alcoholic. My father was an alcoholic from. I thought everybody went to the liquor store every week and bought a big bottle of scotch and had a drink after work every night. I didn't realize some people only drink a couple times a year or special occasions. And I'm like, that was like the warped reality I grew up with. You know, like, man, I'm 10 years old. I was like, do me a favor, make me a drink. I'm getting dinner ready, and I get the scotch and the club soda and a water glass. I thought everybody drank them in water glasses, you know.
Yeah.
But and
The
then
American
the
drink.
Curio,
Yeah.
which was a liquor cabinet, Curio. You know.
Yeah.
But everybody had one of them.
Yeah, no. Not everybody.
No, then I was raised in the house, like you're saying. My stepfather, he's been in my life since I was 10 years old. I've never seen him drink. My mom only drank scotch before like her blood pressure was all whacked out, and it would only be like you're saying holidays and stuff. So I want to say basically, if she got one bottle a year, by the time she needed another bottle, I already had that thing watered down.
To nothing, yeah.
Like,
No wonder mom can drink scotch.
Yeah.
It tastes like water.
Man, I can't drink scotch anymore. I don't know, this stuff's so strong nowadays.
And I always share with like my father, oh my gosh, like when are we going to get there? In about 4 beers. Like here we're driving to go camping and it's like, okay, there's 1. Okay, there's 2. Like only 2 more beers to go. And like they went fast. So, I mean, he would buy, I think, what was it, a 36 pack that they come like
30.
30. You're showing your age. You're not that old.
like the big cube box. Like he
Yeah.
would have
How
that.
about the big one? The small ones were 24.
Yeah, and it was Coors. Ugh.
Oh,
And-
there's the whole thing. Oh,
And that's and on the weekends he would clean out the back seats. He had a little love truck, so the cans went behind the seat, and he would just flip them out. He would take the seats literally out of the truck and clean out all the cans and hose down the inside of it. Because there wasn't carpet. It was just like an industrial type truck.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was once a week. It was crazy. Or we would just throw them in the back. But then again, we always drove with them drinking, sitting in the back of a pickup truck on lawn chairs.
they were the days, weren't they?
Who knew?
We used to lay up on the rear deck of the car, the deck
Yeah.
lid back there, and
Yeah.
drive around.
Yeah. We have a half an hour, guys. See, it goes fast, don't it?
Yeah. No, I love
No,
your
he's
show.
tired, so he's
Nah,
like,
I'm
no,
better
this-
now. I'm better.
But if you have anything that you want to talk about, anything that you need to get off your chest, or just want to hear some support, some
Have you had any questions about the whole AA process? Fred's involved with a couple meetings. I know with one club we go to there, and he can answer any questions if you have any questions about AA or thinking about getting into it. Fred can clarify that for you.
Yeah, we have NA meetings there also.
Yeah.
And then I always just hit me up on Facebook. I always put the schedule up.
Mm-hmm.
Even especially when it comes time to holidays, and I put everything on Facebook. I don't care who reads it. If people got a problem with, some people like, going overboard about putting your stuff about being sober and stuff. I don't think there's anything overboard about it. One of the first things that like I learned going to the meetings, it's like, don't sit in here and be this kind of person during the meeting and then go out in public
Yeah,
and then be a jerk off.
That's
So,
a hard that's a hard pill to swallow for some people.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, they lead like a double life and they're real secretive. And
So if I'm going to be real nice out there as Fred Walcott, when I come in here, I'm going to say, yeah, my name's Fred Walcott. I'm an alcoholic, and take it from there. I mean, actually, at my home group, there was 2 other Freds all of a sudden at one point too.
Yeah.
And I was like,
pull the
where the
Fred.
fuck are all these Freds coming from?
Too many Freds.
Fred-
Like I was the only Fred in AA in Levittown. Man, damn.
I'm Fred.
My
Hey,
town.
hey.
Yeah.
Look yourself,
Yeah.
Frank.
No, there's Franks. Yeah.
Yes.
And the other nicknames and.
Yeah. And it's so nice to see people just coming together and just chilling out and just being there for one another because, during COVID, that was so hard for people that, weren't getting together and just being there for one another because the isolation is just hurting so many people. And that hug is awesome if you're a huggy person.
Right.
It's
I
just,
never was before I got into
Well, this
Any
camera
type of-
angle is terrible for me. I just had that there.
into a program, and then I would hear the people in NA say that hug will save a life.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay. I mean,
Okay. Now he can't stop hugging. He just
Yeah.
hugs everything. He hugs telephone poles and everything.
that's when I was drinking.
But I mean, and that handshake, just having that support, that body, is just so helpful. It keeps you strong, and it just shows that there's somebody there for you, and I just think that's very important for those in recovery. And even the family members are just at a loss. They just don't know what to do or how to do it. And, a lot of times as family members, we get in their way. We're always there trying to make it better and fix it. And we find out that we can't. We can't fix it. They have to fix it themselves. And we can only work on ourselves. Christine says, when my daughter turned 21, she got a bottle of vodka and I drank most of it and filled it with water. And she called me out on it because it got condensation and she knew alcohol doesn't get that. And I guess not, because the alcohol keeps it warm, so there's no condensation going. And if it's cold,
That's the first I'm hearing of something like that. I would have
That's
had to do
pretty-
the whole bottle and then.
yeah. And the funny things you learn,
Yeah.
But that, this is what it's about. It's just about being together and just sharing and supporting one another. That's the most important thing, whether you're the family member, whether you're the alcoholic, whether you're the addict. It doesn't really matter as long as you show up. I mean,
To me, the most important is the newcomer coming in the room, and like you're saying, whether it's a newcomer as a family member or they're looking for treatment for drugs or alcohol, and then the person that's coming back from a relapse, because for me, I hate texting someone. I usually give people 3 times. I text you, you don't answer, go wait a couple days, text you again, you don't answer, wait a couple days, text you. And it's weird because if we're all, say, living in Lower Bucks County and we do see each other on the road or at the Acme or this place or that place, then all of a sudden when someone relapses, they'll stay, hidden in their apartment, and then that's the other thing. We always don't know where each other lives, and when they come back in the room, it's just such a relief.
Yeah.
Like, I love that seeing. So I just had a sponsee brother, like he had a lot of stuff going on in his life, bad things were going on, and you know, he had to sell his house, separated, blah blah blah, and didn't hear from him. And I thought he moved to Jersey, where he didn't. He freaking was still living in Levittown, an apartment complex. And finally he answered, he goes, I'll be at the meeting tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah. Then you kind of get, yeah, okay, bullshit. And he showed up, and it's like awesome. It's like one of the best things out there.
Yeah.
We would really like that when we were doing outreach. We'd see people every week. We used to get out of Kensington every week and talk with people, and you build a rapport with them, and you start knowing them so much about them and what they're up to, and then you don't see them. You're like, you don't know what to think. You know what I mean? Did they go and get help? Did they overdose? Or did
Are
they
they in
hurt? Are they in the
jail?
hospital? And
Yeah.
oh my God, you'd be on like pins and needles every week, and then. You know, sometimes they would show up. You're like, what a relief, that you're still in addiction. Like whatever. But we at least we knew your whereabouts. And then sometimes you wouldn't see people, and to this day, I wonder what happens to a lot of them. Like,
Yeah.
did they make it? Did
But
they not
even
make it?
to see them show up, like when we would have the patients come in, and we would see people that we saw down at the outreach, and it would be like, oh, awesome, that's great, and it's just a great feeling to know that they were there, they got help, and then you go back down 3 months later and they're back again. It's just
But even
like,
when they're
oh
at
my
their
God.
lowest down there, just I mean, they look so frightening and scary. They're at the max of their addiction and all that. But man, they would always ask me, "Hey, Pat, how's your son doing?" Because they knew my life story too. I would share with them and all, and they were like, would put that into the conversation, like, and that would just amaze me. Where it's like, you're doing so awful. You're down here living, under the bridge under here, but yet you get the compassion to ask me how things are going for me at home and my son and all. And it would just amaze me. I mean, to look at them, they're absolutely frightening, and most people would avoid them at all costs. But I mean. They stop thinking of them as people. Like I talking to them, I come to realize that they're really good people, just with a really bad habit. And
And they are.
and it was a really good learning experience for me. I mean,
They are. They're great people. They're where they're at because of their choices. They didn't choose to wake up and say, I'm going to use and be, and addicted to drugs. I'm going to be homeless. My family's going to turn their back. That's not what they were. Again, I always say they come from the best of homes, the best neighborhoods, the best schools, the best sports team, like all of that.
it's an equal opportunity destroyer.
And just like that, it's, I'll say the one thing that really stuck out to me was this one gentleman. I was going down for a while, and all of a sudden this guy comes over the bridge from North Philly, and he comes over the bridge, and he's dressed in like the Italian suit, the Italian shoes, the nice white, like total lawyer look, like big money, CEO, whatever. And his tie was undone. His shirt was untucked, but he still had his jacket on, and he's like dressed to the till, but ruffled up a little. And, oh, can I have a bottle of water? Yeah, give him the bottle of water, because he's a weekender. And within a month, it would be, do you have any clean, socks? Like, he's
Seeing the progression.
within a month, he was just, you would have never known that the man a month ago was in an Italian suit. And
And that happened to all of them. Like when you look at these people all dirty and grimy and panhandling and all, people look like, oh, look at that drag of society. That's it. But they were just like you not too long ago, man. And people find that hard to believe. I mean, it happens fast. I mean, it progresses fast, and
It does.
it just robs you of your dignity, of your money, of your self worth, everything.
Everything. It takes everything away from you.
I mean, there's everybody down there. I mean, union guys, military guys. I mean, lawyers, cops.
Yeah, everything.
I mean, it's like I mean, I ran into people all kinds of stories that you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's
No, are you a one and doneer?
I'm not done anything.
Well, no.
It's a long journey till the day I die.
Yes, but only one treatment.
One treatment, because actually I got a Ziploc bag I was throwing all my stuff in with the blue knapsack from Live and Grin, and like you start hearing stuff I don't know, and in the big book that they gave me I wrote down like one and done, and then I realized that this is not one and done.
Right.
This is like to the day I die, or I'm going to die from my disease. So I get
Right.
to pick. So,
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to keep coming back.
Well, I'm glad that you do keep coming back because it's so important that, you share your story because that's what keeps people sober, clean. That's what does it. And it's just so hard to believe. Like, people are out there and they don't take that toolbox with them.
right, but it's good that Fred tells us to because some people get this thing in their head that relapse is part of recovery. Some people relapse several times and have to go through the process, and some people go through the program, really embrace it, and go through. Like Fred is an example that it is possible. I mean, because some people get this wrong sense of reality.
Yeah. I don't think so. To me, relapse is not part of recovery, but
It's part of not working a
it is
program.
part of the disease. Which then, if you're not working a program,
Right.
like you said earlier, there is people out there that they go to church, they don't do the 12 steps and any kind of program, and good for them. I'm more than happy for them.
Right.
Even though we know Larry has different ways of doing things, and if people don't believe in God, I'm not going to be like,
He
"You don't
shakes a
believe in
chicken
God."
foot. I've seen him shaking
You
a
know
chicken
what?
foot over a.
If he's sober today and he's doing some weird shit, and as long as he's not ending up in prison for it, hey,
Right.
Buddha bless him. Whoever's going to bless him, bless him. But find a way. There's more than enough things in this world now, especially with the internet and stuff.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, don't get
Everybody's path is
scammed or
different.
anything, but
Yeah.
I remember leaving Live and Grin, and they're like, just so you know, when you do get a sponsor, you don't have to pay anyone that they'll happily do it for free. And I was like, oh boy,
Oh, shit.
that's,
Really?
Yeah. But even the sponsorship thing, like that's a weird pressure on it. Like for me, at 49 years old, like gonna ask some guy, can you be my sponsor? And it's like, and I had him for I don't know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
And he's got a whole face full of pimples. He just got out of high school. He goes, sure,
Well,
mister.
Yeah, but that's like you said, that's out there.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
that pimple faced kid might have the experience that you need to get through that
Exactly,
day.
exactly.
There's
Or just the opposite. Like my producer back here, I mean, he didn't like the meeting things at all. And he finally resonated with a group of old heads, AA guys out in Florida. I mean, out of all the people. And he still likes old guys. He's got them hanging in the studio now all the time. Now it's the latest.
Yeah.
He resonates with old guys. But who'd ever thought that's what would have rang true with him? I mean, that's what he felt comfortable with and when he embraced his recovery.
And you have to do whatever works for you.
I had to throw that old guy zinger in just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. And you just have to just do what's working for you. Not everybody's into the 12 step, and that's fine. I myself feel that that's the best option, and at least try it and really put your heart into it. But if that's not resonating with you and you're struggling with it because of the God thing, then figure it out. Figure out where you fit in and what will help you through to get to the next day. And I always see this meme, and it just is so true. You know, don't put down an addict. They might be just the same person that takes your child through recovery. Like, and because I'm going to tell you, every meeting, I don't care who it is, any meeting you walk into, a newcomer, I never thought it would happen in my home. Never thought it would happen under my watch. Like, that is every single family member's first words.
See, if I get into the dust tomorrow, I look much thinner. Look at that! Look at that! What a slimming effect this big giant desk makes. I'm sitting there looking at myself. It's like when you're walking through the shopping center, you look at the storefront window, and go, "Holy crap! Is that what I really look like to everyone else?"
Tell them the truth, honey. When you walk into the mall, that stomach comes in and
that
his,
wall
he
physique.
goes up.
Suck it in there. Yes, how you doing?
We leave and it's like, So anything you want to share with anybody out there?
Just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, there's people, I don't know. There's people I love in recovery. Like, I think Christine, well, there's
Christine.
2 Christines still on there tonight, right? Or is it just one?
No, just one. Just one.
I thought that Christine from, like, Hershey was on there, too.
No.
But she puts the craziest, funniest shit
Oh my
on
gosh,
Facebook
does
to
she?
where I can't believe the, like, SWAT team doesn't kick her front door in to take her computer kind of thing.
She could be. There are a lot of people sandbag in the background. You don't even see them come up.
I'm
But
one of those ones that
You send her
the
the
shit.
stuff, right? Yeah, I know. But some of that stuff, it's just, but it makes my day. And it's like, I already know you from recovery, so it's even
Right.
better.
Yeah.
And then, like, Christine, that Christine that's on our D, we just exchanged phone numbers, and, like, we've known each other from doing different things at Living Green and stuff. And it's just funny because, like, someone like her, the last thing I think I heard from her, she's like, "Oh, just let me know when you need volunteers or something's coming up." And it's like, how cool is that? That, like, she's putting herself out there looking to volunteer.
Right.
And it's like, it's just a great feeling. Then when you see these people at different events or I love the alumni meetings. Going on to the Living Green property, I just feel a different way when I'm pulling in there. I can't explain it. I don't know, maybe because I thought, I never knew anything about recovery, and then it's like, boom, here I am, and like, wow. Mm-hmm. And somehow, today I'm still sober.
Yeah.
And that was my goal. And
Well, it's weird how we turned to them. We knew nothing about Living Green. All I knew is a lot of my friends have been there over the years. I mean, they've been dropped off to try out, as we used to call it, this and that. And then when it was brought to our attention, we had a family member. That's the first place we thought of. That's the only place we knew of.
that's, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we immediately were right there. It's in our own town. It's minutes away. Mm-hmm. I mean, and who knew it was such a big, sprawling place like it was on all the things that go on there. I knew nothing about the place.
Yeah, I had no idea. Then our Oxford Valley location, like you guys have been there, that's shut down now, and they're down at that Social Security office. I actually drove through that parking lot today so I could find it to see where
Oh, they did
doors
move?
you go.
Finally,
yeah.
go.
And
they
they got
did.
a
Find
little
out.
sticker on the door and everything.
Yeah. So I just got a message because they can't, they don't have the chat thing. So Kathy Love says, Fred rocks. Tell him I said hello. He's amazing. I can't get in the chat. Laugh out loud. Fred is an awesome example of service. He gives so much. Love him.
Yeah.
We love them too.
Yeah.
I missed you last Sunday at 3 o'clock. I was looking for you at that meeting.
Ah, she bagged it. Huh?
I think she was out shopping for boots, I think.
I think she was reading to the blind nuns or something.
But see, there's somebody that's out there that we don't know is out there because it's this format. You can't see who's
we
out
can't
there.
see all the
Yeah.
people like with Facebook. We could see everybody. And if they don't chat,
Yeah.
we don't know if they're out there.
She says, farm tomorrow. Tell Fred. One of the
Yeah.
first things he talked
The
about
first thing he
tonight.
brought up, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm riding my bike over tomorrow.
Where do you hold your pitchfork?
Do you wear chaps? It's going to be cold.
Well, that's why I gotta wait and see. I don't know. The chaps is a pain in the ass.
Ah, I get
Then
it.
you look like one of the village.
I get it.
Then you look like one of the village people.
Village
so
people.
yeah,
I want chaps
But
just
you-
to
they-
let the dogs out.
they
Like,
actually-
it's freezing.
And it's
Help.
in Lambertville. You can shoot right over the bridge into New Hope
yeah.
and fit right in.
I'll pick up.
Ain't that right, Larry?
I'll pick up Larry and we can get some the IPAs, right?
With Larry
What's
be
the
riding.
percentages you got here? Yeah, okay.
I don't know if Larry would ride bitch or not. He's kind of
Nah.
funny with that.
Yeah.
No nuts to butts. No.
No. Saturday, 50
There's a new one.
degrees.
50, yeah, but you figure I'll be leaving my house probably.
Yeah.
Quarter
30
to
is
8.
the low.
Yeah, I've gone out colder, but
Let's see. 5 a.m. Let's see. 9 a.m. you said, right? 37 at 9 a.m.
we'll see.
Full
Then-
sun. Full sun.
that does help a lot. But then when you get into that meeting, they have the electric heater, gas heaters, and then it's like the next thing you know, you're sitting there and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna pass out from sweat."
Roasting like an order of fries under the heat
you
lamp.
really
Oh,
do-
is it outside or is
It's
it in
in a
the barn?
stable.
In the stable?
Yeah, it's open. It's an open meeting.
It's
And
a
then
stable
people do
environment,
bring-
though.
Yeah, but the problem is it's really early in the morning.
It's a good time.
I know it is.
Kids would like to mess around with the horses and stuff, and it is a beautiful. It is a serene place.
Oh, I know. I know. She talks about it all the time. Like, and I would love to go, but it's so damn early.
Did they have a second shift?
Yeah. Don't they have like a center service?
I think Wednesday night they have something, but that's at the other house there on that property.
Yeah. Yes, but tomorrow we're celebrating.
Larry rides side saddle.
Kathy says take a nap afterwards. I know I would love it. I absolutely know I would love it. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to get up early tomorrow
And we have
because
no choice.
we
We all
have-
got to get out the door early. The
Yeah.
whole team.
Larry says I ride side saddle. I have to get up early for ballet, and then we're gonna run across the street for
I'm
the
driving over. I ain't running.
trampoline park,
It's around. It's more than across the street. It's
and
up
then
the street
we're
around the
grabbing
corner.
something to eat, and then coming back for cake and ice cream for Lane's second birthday. I can't even believe he's 2. It's just unreal. There's just no way. And
I just can't wait to jump on the trampolines and make all the other kids fly out of
Scared.
control everywhere.
he's gonna put the
I'm only kidding. I will not be getting on a trampoline. I'm a full-figured man. I have no business being on a trampoline or a moon bounce.
yeah. So I'm excited
I'm
because
more a buffet guy.
Yes, Ashley has to get the socks because he just takes off like insane. And when we just were there for my neighbor's grandson's birthday, and Richard's carrying him in,
He
And-
took off, ran on that
and-
trampolines like he's been on them his whole life.
and it was funny because when you walk in, you're down, and the trampolines are like at shoulder level. And that's all he sees are people going up and down. He's climbing. I mean,
Trying to see
climbing
what the hell's going
off
on.
of Richard to get up to that trampoline. He
It
was
was
like,
pretty
I'm done.
fun.
I don't need no freaking socks. I'm going.
I mean, no chaperones.
That was so funny, though. Oh, my gosh. I just loved watching him.
Christine
He was-
says, "Thanks for your great message, Fred. Let's get another day." Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
It's what it's all about. Getting that other day.
We're getting close.
gonna
We
be
got
able to-
3 minutes left there.
You
If
going to
anybody
be able to
wants,
get up tomorrow?
wants to
Yeah.
say anything
Yeah.
or whatever. But remember, tell your friends, tell your neighbors. We promote the show. We'd love to get more people on
Yes.
calling in and stuff and
And if you are new,
increase our following. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We're not monetized, so we don't make no money for the more followers.
no,
We
I
don't
forget
get
what
involved in that.
I forget what Ashley calls it because I used to call it a zero profit
Our zero profit
our-
organization.
our zero profit support
Yeah,
group.
we don't look for donations. We don't look for
And-
money, but we do look for more viewers, just to,
Yeah.
to get the word out and
Yeah,
to network with more people.
Yeah, so just if you're new here, this is about, sharing our experience, strengths, and hopes with substance use disorder, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, and family support. That's what we're here for. That's why I started doing this, because I knew that it was needed. So please subscribe, like, and share. You never know who might need to hear it. And if you're new here and you liked what you saw, check out the other videos. We do save them onto our YouTube, and you can watch past shows as well. You can watch every time Fred's been here to see how much more he's grown. In the 3 to 4 visits he's been here. I think this is your 4th, I believe. And yeah, I mean, that's what it's about. That's what we're here for, and that's
We come here with, we're serious, but we like to have a little fun too. And
Yeah.
we come to you from an awesome music studio out here that we have access to. So
yes,
it's all good.
my son is amazing with what he does, and I'm blessed that
You see all the stuff now from this angle. We got a new camera angle.
But
It's only
he-
part of the stuff. This whole room's full of equipment.
but this is what he does. He does it well, and I'm grateful to be here. Kathleen says, this is my second YouTube meeting. Thank you for being there. Well, thank you, Kathleen. And if anybody needs tickets to the dance, don't buy them from Fred, buy them from me. Okay? Have them
Little
in
friendly
hand.
competition going on here.
I have them in hand. So it's $35. It's dinner and dancing, and it's a great time. We have
Plus
a
Buffet style
blast.
dinner, tons of
We
food,
have a
great food at
blast.
Georgine's.
Well, like I said, my wife's not one of us. She's a cucumber, and she has a great time at these. And like she's already getting the boots and an outfit together.
Isn't that funny?
By the way, I'm a cucumber too.
I'm a cucumber.
Yes, and I love my pickles. I love hanging with my pickles.
Then I heard the one that we're doing in July is already going to be a luau. So I
Yes.
already started looking for some kind of off the wall shirt, but
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Shopping in advance.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, can we do a luau? Because Christmas in July.
Not every year. Yeah, you can't do the same.
Well-
Well,
it up.
just Christmas in July, like, it's just getting so commercialized anyway. So let's just not think about Christmas.
I need a
until
Christmas break.
Christmas. Okay. Let us
Once
pay
a year's
off
good. I need a Christmas break.
Let
you know.
us pay off Christmas, and then
That's a good idea, though.
Can we have a luau and still celebrate Jesus at the same
Yes.
time? Without-
Yeah. So we are having a luau, and the other one is November, which is the Harvest Moon,
Harvest
which
Moon.
is where it all started. So I don't believe I couldn't think of what's yes, that will be that one. So
Well, that being said,
yes, it is March 18th. Tickets are $35. I have them on hand. Reach out to me through Messenger. I'll be happy to hook you up. If you can't be there and want to help, you can donate a basket, a service, a gift certificate, gift card.
and I'm glad we
Just to
made you
help
smile tonight,
raffle it off.
Kathleen. We're all good friends, so we all have a lot of fun together.
Yes.
It's like Larry, China. We're all very good friends. I mean,
Yes.
we've all met through recovery.
Yes.
And,
And Kathleen happens to be in our family group. So
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's our girl Kathleen. So everybody have a great week. If you need any help, please reach out 267-737-8031. I am always here. I am always listening. And everybody, see you next Friday.
Remember, everybody, recovery works if you work it.
Peace
Have a
out,
great
everybody.
night. Thanks for tuning in.